Hey guys, so ZED bringing you another video. Welcome back to another Challenger Spectator, or high rating Spectator at least. Today we are watching ZED, because I've mentioned a couple times here or there already, like, you know, I'm really looking forward to Season 11. Like, if the season could start tomorrow, I think I'd actually want it, because I just kind of want to start tryharding and ranked again. And so people might say, meanwhile, Invade, Victor gets the first blood, catching kind of the Vladimir sleeping a bit. And by the way, the ZED used double summoners there, so going into lane, both summoners down to a Lucian is very bad. But I'd love to try hard in ranked. There's not really a big point try harding in preseason when we're, you know, from now maybe a month away from the new season, maybe a bit less. I don't think they've officially announced when the new season is starting. Because we're about to get reset, you know, and yes, climbing a little bit in preseason affects that, but not a whole lot. Even if I climbed back to Diamond 1, it's not going to do a crazy amount. So I'd rather just kind of experiment as we are doing and kind of watching really good players and kind of learning from them. By the way, just some of the games I'm playing at the moment, I'm playing really well. I'm very happy with how I'm playing. And you can notice, by the way, how passive this ZED is actually playing too. But yeah, I'm very happy. So I'm actually quite confident going into next season already. So that's awesome. If you haven't watched the Corky game, which would have been uploaded by now, please do. That was one of my best games I think I've played in a very long time. But this specific matchup, ZED. So ZED versus Lucian. Obviously a very rough start actually for the ZED. And this is where sometimes using your summoners early and these level 1 invades aren't the best. Because, yes, they got the kill, but that has put ZED, and obviously he opted to use his own summoners, but he opted to get both, and he didn't get the kill. If he got the kill, maybe it's a bit more worth, but I'd still say he'd have this massive deficit. But what's happening here, and what you can notice, ZED was really passive, you know, not even getting really an XP range at level 1, hardly. And you can see this Lucian really wants to bully this ZED. But this is how you have to play these lanes. A lot of people have said, oh, Lucian mid's really annoying. How do you deal with it? You can see this ZED literally is playing ridiculously passive, getting away from XP range and just kind of chilling. Meanwhile, level 3 hits, and you can do a little bit of an aggression play with level 3. But the clear advantage is for Lucian. Now, what I've always said, and this has been a recurring thing whenever we've had an AD carry mid like Lucian, it's, to me, a very weird pick. That it's satisfying right now. I'd imagine this Lucian's having a wonderful time. That he's against a ZED, he's managing to be way ahead in farm, he can bully him, he's got lane pressure. But as I've always mentioned, every single champion of the game is designed to beat other types of champions. Think of League of Legends as like a chess game. That it's strategy. Assassins, which ZED is designed to kill squishier targets. So mages, AD carries, supports. Lucian fits into one of those categories, which why I've always been confused of why people take this pick into mid. Like, unless the Lucian gets so far ahead in the early game that he just snowballs out of control and it just doesn't really matter, the game's over by the time a ZED could kill a Lucian. If that's not true, then the Lucian's always going to be at a disadvantage later. Meanwhile, the Victor was getting called out, but you can see he actually executed himself up in top lane. Meanwhile, they have ignored a control ward in the river, and they are going for a 4-man play in bot lane. So yes, the ZED isn't committing back to mid, hits his shadow. Nothing more is going, never mind, ZED committing, very bizarre play, and he gets killed. So this early game we're watching is not going very well for ZED. Meanwhile, Olaf ganking top lane. Victor might be dead. He is dead. But let me just kind of get the details, by the way, of this specific ZED, because I know some people would always like to know, like, who are we watching, Huz? Well, we're watching one of EU West's best ZEDs. Meanwhile, a crazy amount of play is happening. Nocturne goes down. The dives are bad. Not good. But this ZED is a master player, so admittingly not a challenger player, but based on his rank, and stats and everything on ZED, which I will tell you guys, it's a smurf, clearly. Meanwhile, Lucian does flash away on the back foot to the ZED. ZED doesn't have flash himself, so not anything to think about that. But ZED, by the way, is basically half farm right now. This ZED is EU West's best ZED, statistically, and the world's second best ZED. Now, again, is that really true? Arguably. I'm sure there's a challenger player out there that is, like, not really as big of a Zed player, but maybe better, because there are just some freak players out there. You know, if you put Faker or something, you know, I'm sure that statistically they're not in the top 50 Zeds, you know, on League. I'm using League of Graphs as the high scoreboard. But Faker or equivalent players are probably better than them. So, you know, these high scores and everything, and the world lists, they're more for, like, it's noticing the committed players on these champions. So this Zed stats, meanwhile, a gank is coming. Remember, Lucian has used his flash. Ignite has come down for the Zed, and now Lucian does end up going down just. Well, he was going to die, but he just misses out on the Zed kill. Nice roam by Janna, which obviously we've always said is quite a common thing. The higher rating you go, random roams of supports will happen. Enemy team get the dragon, though, and Zed does hit level 6. Meanwhile, shut down for Misfortune, and she survives. I think that was a tower dive attempt by the Cogmore. But yeah, Zed stats, he has played 67 games of Zed. He has got a 76.1% win rate. And his KD, which is 10.4 kills a game, 4.9 deaths, and 5.3 assists. So, yeah, a pretty damn good KDA. Is definitely some type of smurf. In Season 9, his account was Platinum. I don't know what the account was in Season 10. All the websites, apart from op.gg, so maybe I can find out on that. All the websites just haven't really updated some of their stats, but I will actually go on op.gg and see if I can find out what rating they were in Season 10. Bear with me. Could do this all at the same time. Okay, they were Platinum. Okay, so that's very weird. I think it was okay. It might have been a Decayed player, because they finished Platinum 1 100 LP, so clearly that's Diamond, but they're not Diamond. Right, let me have a little look. Monthly? Yeah, no, it was a Platinum account. A Smurf, only level 44. So this is just someone's Smurf. Arguably, it might be a botted account to level up. Possibly. But yeah, it's just a crazy Zed Smurf. So flashes instantly, ults as well, uses the W, and dead. So this is the point that I was trying to make, and I have made several times about Lucian. This Lucian had such a big advantage in the early game. You guys saw it. You've been watching. The Zed wasn't even getting XP. He was running away. He was getting 0 farm. He was, you know, remember, Lucian had 40 farm when Zed had 20, basically. Lucian in that time has only gained 8 more farm, and Zed has now overtaken him, and now solo killed. So this is why I've always said to you guys, the picks like Lucian mid have always confused me. Because something like Zed, but even Ahri, Victor, Xerath even, they are designed to kill a Lucian. That's what they're for. That's, you know, that's why you usually have an AD carry like Lucian in bot lane, because you have a support to protect them. Meanwhile, Zed now going for a roam, and this is also going to happen. Zed is a roaming assassin mid laner. Lucian's now dead. Zed's going to just do his best to do a bit of damage, and Misfortune picks up the kill. So what's happening now is in mid lane, control. This is something that you need to talk about quite often when it comes to especially mid. Control of mid laners. Have you ever been in that situation that you're either laning or laning against? Let's say you're laning against something like this Zed, and this is happening. He solo kills you. Okay, that sucks. But then he starts roaming around the map. What's happened is you've lost control of your lane opponent. And to be honest, meanwhile, Nocturne is looking for a gank, because arguably it's a free kill in mid lane right now. Some people may say, okay, I'm the Lucian in this situation. What do I do? It's very tough to actually answer that, because whatever way you swing the bat, you know, Nocturne now is solo ganking, is potentially going to be dead from it because there's 3 people. Will Lucian die? Lucian does go down in what was supposed to be a 3v1, but Olaf didn't hit his axe. What can this Lucian do? Very little. Very little, because he got an early lead, but then he got solo killed. He didn't get that early in a kill. Meanwhile, Zed's going to go for a... Look at that damage! Again, we have always, you know, with all these videos, we've been saying League of Damage or League of One-Shots. Zed right now has components. He has a Dirk, he's got a longsword, and let's be honest, that Olaf just got one-shot. The Nami nearly is getting killed by a Janna. The damage in the game is so high, it's crazy. Like, I wouldn't have expected even though this Zed was a level or 2 levels, meanwhile Lucian is going to get this kill because Zed overstayed and Lucian commits his flash. But we'll say Lucian did commit his flash to getting that kill. That means he doesn't have flash next time. So he's probably going to die pretty soon. But Lucian does have barrier up, so hopefully he can survive. There's just so much damage in the game. I don't think with these before the preseason, I personally don't think that Olaf would have died. Meanwhile, Kog'Maw looking aggressive. I think Kog'Maw, by the way, underrated pick right now. For a couple of reasons. Meanwhile, Misfortune not managing to deal the damage because of, again, she's done the Manimune first. Manimune literally gives you sod all damage in the early game. So Kog'Maw, weirdly, has probably got more damage than Misfortune, which, if I said that to people, like, oh, well, Misfortune's going to be out-damaged by a Kog'Maw in lane phase, you'd probably laugh at me, but it's happening because of Manimune. Meanwhile, the enemy team is making a play, so they got the double kill in bot lane, they've got the Rift Hold, there's 4 people bot lane, and that looks to be the first Blood Tower into potentially the next Dragon. So the enemy team is about to take the lead, gold-wise. Zed is coming, and he does get the Nami, so there's a dead fish. Maybe they can stop the Dragon now, because the pressure is equalizing. Nocturne's here, Janna's now going aggressive. Olaf, this is weirding me out, so you might get the Janna, but you're probably... He probably knew he was going to die there. Zed's in the area, and Dragons just spawned. So why on earth, as an Olaf, would you take that? That's not worth. Even if trading, like you just did, that's a support. You're a jungler. Dragon just spawned. That's not worth for you. So, weird. So Zed, I like that trick. He's using his shadow, getting a bit more health, and then he'll W to get to the lane. I actually like that. Meanwhile, mid lane, Nocturne not being able to commit for this kill because Nami shows up at a really bad time for him. Victor gets a solo kill in top lane. Victor, very strong champion still. You know, he was arguably way too strong at the beginning of preseason. He did get toned down a little bit, but still very good. You know, I wouldn't call Victor broken anymore. I would just call him strong. He is one of the meta mid laners in the game right now. Meanwhile, the Pokemon battle of supports is happening over there. Again, that seems to be quite a common thing for this game. And now the Zed, again, looking potentially for roams. He's allowed to roam, because if you notice, Lucian has no mana, so he's naturally probably going to go back. Nami looking aggressive with her ultimate. She's going to be really careful, by the way. If Zed chooses to commit on her, she's dead. So, but the only thing is, will Zed overcommit and get himself killed for going for Nami? That's kind of the main thing. So he's going to loop around. Don't know where the Nami's gone. Olaf, which he's now found. Nami gets... Let's be honest, one shot. The Janna does finish off the kill, though. Zed is a little bit in trouble, but he flashes away. I'm surprised the Zed... Oh, he doesn't have ult, that's why. I was like, why didn't he ult the Olaf? 10 seconds away from his ult at the time. And for those that are wondering, by the way, the runes, we can go through them as well while there's a tiny bit of downtime. Electrocute. Meanwhile, Kog'Maw gets a solo kill. Sudden impact. Eyeball. Meanwhile, engage is going to happen. Little bit of damage. Zed was thinking about the ult. He goes for it in the end. Exhaust comes through. That's probably going to ruin his chances unless he can land a little bit more damage, which he does, but not enough. Olaf's coming to see if he can kill the Zed. He flash commits for this, but Zed has his W. And again, questionable Olaf plays are going on a little bit. Meanwhile, the aggressive Janna is going for the kill on Lucian, but as you can see over here, is this giving Dragon away again? They are going to get him. Janna gets the solo kill. Again, Janna's, man, you know, I've said a couple times, meanwhile, Nocturne commits for the Dragon. Gets maybe going to get the Nami kill. He's going to back out a little bit, wait for the Victor. Victor comes in, Olaf on the back foot. Nami is stuck in the pit. She hasn't got flash. So this is probably a dead fish. It is a dead fish. And now the Dragon is going to be taken by the blue team. Kog'Maw, a little bit too late to the party, potentially. Gets himself killed as well, and that is also going to be Dragon. Kog'Maw looking for the Janna, but Janna's quite fast, naturally, with her passive, so they will manage to get the Dragon, get the turn, which is nice. But then finally, by the way, the runes, Transcendence, Gathering Storm, and the camera doesn't want to play ball any second. He's gone Ability Haste, so cooldown reduction, by the way, not attack damage, Ability Haste, attack damage then, and health. Arguably, the reason why he's done that... Oh, why didn't he go armor against Lucian? Arguably, because he didn't really know who he was against. You could put Lucian top, meanwhile the Vladimir overstays, gets himself killed. High damage by the Zed, obviously. But yeah, you could put Lucian top. You could put Vladimir mid. So you probably didn't exactly... And, well, hell, you could even have AP Kog'Maw mid, Lucian bot. So you didn't really know who he was against, so that's probably why health is good against most things. It's a more generic thing when you don't know who you're against. Zed's in trouble here. He's going to ult commit. He's going to W away. But then Olaf's near death. Can Zed finish this kill? Kog'Maw dies to the Nocturne. Again, not surprisingly, Nocturne quite strong right now. Zed has to hit this Q. Misses with the teleport coming in. Vladimir back in the area. Janna ults him away. But that's probably a dead Janna now, unfortunately for her. And she is actually on a little bit of a shutdown. Can she get away? She actually did a really good prediction. She hits the Nami of all things, because yes, Nami's around. And Olaf nearly died. If Zed pressed his W to do an auto attack, he would have died, but that also probably would have got the Zed killed. And what looks to be have happened, by the way, don't know why, the Zed and the Victor are swapped. Arguably because Zed is more of a solo assassin, obviously, and Victor's more of a team fighter, so maybe that's why, logically, and because usually Zed doesn't want to start side laning. But, yeah, so this game so far has been quite good for me because the early game went so bad for this Zed. Yes, they got the first blood, but he used his, summoner spells. It sucked. His early game was non-existent. And that's what I've said, is yes, the Lucian was doing okay. It was double farm, but he didn't get a kill. It's not like they killed the Zed and made him really far behind, or the Lucian was really far ahead. Meanwhile, Zed going to go for the ultimate play. The Vladimir is probably dead. Look how patient this Zed was, by the way. He presses R. Vladimir pulls to try and avoid damage, but Zed just keeps walking and waits for his W until, Vladimir pops out of pool. Even if he flashed away, he wouldn't have got away. So yeah, really nice, smart Zed play. He's going to go back. And by the way, he went Yumu's first item, and then going for his mythic item. He bought a Drakthar then, but he's changed his mind. He's actually gone for Prowler's Claw. The reason why he's probably gone for Prowler's Claw, if I had to guess, Prowler's Claw helps you obviously get to targets better. It gives you an extra dash. So Lucian is a ranged target, Vladimir ranged. So it just enables him, just to make sure he can stay on top of the target. I'd imagine he'd ult, then Prowler's Claw if they flash away or whatever, or just hold Prowler's Claw until he needs to use it. He's looking for the fish. Will he get it? He's going to W over the wall. He's going to go for Prowler's Claw and finish off the Nami. So in that instance, the Nami was really far away. Boom, I'll use the Prowlers to get in range. Let's be honest, without Prowlers there, that Nami wasn't dead. Lucian now being a little bit too close is going to exhaust, but it doesn't matter. He will take the kill before Victor does damage. He's going to flash away. And again, if you guys don't know, if you watch the replays closely, when Zed ultimates a target, you'll see a floating shuriken above the head of the target he's ulted. If that, I believe, it changes when you know the target's going to die. By the pop damage. I think it's the shuriken kind of starts spinning. But that doesn't mean they're going to die. It means if nothing happens to this person, they are about to die by the pop damage. If they heal, or lifesteal, or get shielded, or something like that, it can save them. But if nothing happens, from the point that, the pop is going to kill them, and they don't do anything about it, yes, they're going to die. That's what that means. I bet a lot of people probably don't actually know that, but yeah. A couple of champions of things like that, to be honest. Meanwhile, Zed propping his Yumus, looking for the Nami. So what he's actually doing, by the way, it's a very common Zed technique. You'll see him W behind him. And what that means, and he didn't have ultimate, so he couldn't do the play right then. You W behind you, you ult the target in front, you do as much damage as you can, and then you have your W to escape way back. Because this guy is pretty damn strong, he probably has enough damage to kill a target with just his ultimate. He doesn't need the extra W shadow to do extra damage as well. So this game, obviously, it's gone quite now well for blue team. They were losing this game, at one stage. Enemy team got the first dragon as well, but they kind of kept with it. Obviously, top lane has gone actually quite well for Victor, and that's a pretty damn even matchup, Vladimir versus Victor. Mid lane has naturally gone into Zed's favor. That's just by champion. And bot lane, really, again, it's still pretty damn close in bot lane, let's be honest. The big difference here is mid and jungle, if I had to guess by the gold, and we can have a look. 9.7 to 6.6, so yeah, Zed is 3,000 gold ahead. That's quite a lot. And also Nocturne, 8.7 to 6.5, 2,000 gold ahead. And then other than that, Misfortune's 500-600 gold ahead. Victor, okay, that's a very big difference in top lane actually as well. So the game now has gone in completely blue team's favor. But I wanted to see this because a few things that we can definitely pick up from Zed that some of you may not have known is the W behind to then engage in front. It gives you your escape because that's sometimes some people's biggest complaint when playing Zed. Oh, I have to fully commit. And when I'm in the fight, how do I leave? And obviously Drakthar is an answer to that. If you get a kill, you can then stealth away. But you know, the classic way of doing it with Zed is that you W behind, you ult in front, you do your damage, and then press W, and you're escaped. You're way gone. So that's something that a lot of you probably can take from this Zed play. But also part of the lesson is it's okay to get behind early if you know you have an advantage later. So this Zed, you know, so many of us would have felt, you know, where a big advantage where Lucian comes in solo queue and stuff like that is you feel terrible to give up so much farm in the early game, so much pressure in the early game that you let, you know, you get poked out too much, you get yourself killed. So again, the W Prowler's Claw. Oh, I like that. Oh, that was lovely. That poor Nami. He W's behind, he Prowler Claws the other side of her, and now she's stuck in between the real Zed and the shadow, and then he W's back, but there's still a shadow there. So that's actually quite funny. But yeah, like, you know, all of us kind of panic and go, Jesus Christ, you know, I cannot do anything to this Lucian, but I need that farm. So you commit to the farm, and that's where Lucian can get a cheeky kill in the early game. You know, you kind of overcommit farm, and you die. Then a Lucian starts snowballing from that, and what we saw Zed do this game was be patient. He got the solo kill, then started roaming. And obviously even Janna came mid once as well to help. Then he started roaming. What normally happens with a Lucian getting fed, they get the solo kill, and then Lucian starts roaming. But if you're patient, you're the assassin or the mage, and then by level 6, level 7, you then have kill potential over an AD carry. This poor Nami, she's dead again. Then you have the power in that matchup. So that's why I've never loved something like Lucian mid, is because its window for getting fed and making it work is really between like level 1 and level 6. And then after like level 6-ish, meanwhile the enemy team surrender. And by the way, I do notice the Olaf's trolley items. Obviously, he only did that in the last minute or so. The game was kind of over by then, which is still not an excuse. But his window is so short. By level 6, mages and assassins normally have kill pressure on the Lucian if he's not really far away or far ahead. So the game went well. Obviously, the Zed, by the way, also as his third item bought the Serelida, the Grudge item. So that's 45 attack damage, 30% armor pen, 20% ability haste, and its damaging abilities slow by 30%. Fantastic item for Zed because it's an armor pen, armor shred item, cooldown reduction as well, but it slows. So when you shuriken somebody, you're actually slowing them. So you can get extra auto attacks on them, and your other abilities can hit as well easier because you're slowing them. So yeah, really good game by Zed. Champion that is most likely going to make a comeback for me personally in Season 11. From watching this guy is giving me a few ideas and a couple things that I actually forgot with Zed. So I would say in the next week or so, expect me to play the champion. Definitely on the like, comment, subscribe account, and we'll give it a go and see how good we can do. You know, I've titled many videos like, oh, I'm rusty on this champion or that champion. I am going to be rusty on them, but the more I play them, the more I commit to playing them, the better I'll do anyway. But that's going to be it. If you guys did enjoy, do throw a like on the video. Let me know what you think of Zed, and I'll see you guys next time. And please, by the way, do press subscribe if you haven't. If you are watching the videos, does help out. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.